All right, so this is a Killers, directed by Robert Luketic, who also did The Ugly Truth, another Katherine Heigl film. It stars Katherine Heigl as a freshly broken up with woman who goes to Venice, France with her parents, played by Tom Selleck and
Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara, the lush, in almost everything.
Starting to wonder about her
actually acting or just drinking through it. But she is there and just stumbles across Ashton Kutcher in an elevator, shirtless, and has a kind of an embarrassing following, and they go out on a date, fall in love, get married, and then he turns out to be a CIA spy who used to assassinate people, and it all blows up in their face. Mm-hmm. So this one is pretty much the same thing as all these other kind of movies. Someone's a spy and everyone tries to kill them, and the poor
Night and Day that just came out this last summer,
and the poor wife, unbeknownst to the world, is stuck in the middle of it, having to use guns. But a lot of comedy in it. I did laugh. I mean, I have to admit there was some good comedy. Some of the side characters, like, they have like best friends that they've been married for 3 years and they're like best friends for 3 years. All of a sudden start trying to kill them. Mm-hmm. So it's this really integrated plot. But yeah, for the most part, it's a very drab movie. Not much happens. It's kind of the story that like they came up with a premise of, we're gonna do a spy movie, and that's all. And then they just started making the movie, and at some point in time they figured they'd make an end and then didn't.
Yeah.
I gave this one a C. I did laugh. I had a good time. It was an okay rent, but overall, totally disappointing movie. Katherine Heigl is usually quite good in her movies, like Knocked Up and stuff. I've enjoyed her and her other chick flicks, and I will never forget Roswell. I mean, that's all. Ashton Kutcher, it's just being himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he doesn't have, was it variants? Yeah, so, but it's all right. I mean, if you're going to watch, you want to see something with a little action, some comedy, it's a good pickup.
All right, I gave it a D+, and I thought that there wasn't much to this movie. There's nothing in this movie that I haven't seen somewhere better. Like, it's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, basically, except for it's just Mr. Smith. Mrs. Smith doesn't know, so she's whatever. I felt like the arc of their relationship was really mishandled. Just very, I didn't feel like there was a relationship there. They had no chemistry, because they meet in France, and then there's this cut to 3 years later, and they're married and happy, and they have the same exact chemistry from the moment they met. Like, they don't feel like a married couple to me at all, and they look exactly the same. It does not feel like 3 years has passed at all. Ashton Kutcher, I'm done with this guy. I am so done with Ashton Kutcher. Basically, if you want a movie of those Ashton Kutcher camera commercials where he's just taking pictures of people and there's kind of like sexy music playing in the background, that's what this is. It's just 2 hours of that commercial. And I just felt that it was just completely frivolous and pointless, and the tone of the movie is completely confused because it's funny in parts. It's like kind of a rom-com, and then all this action violence, and it gets kind of dark at points, but not the type of dark that it knows what it's doing. I just feel like it was completely mishandled, really poorly paced, and basically, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but you also have some Meet the Parents kind of stuff in there too. And Tom Selleck does kind of a good job as far as what he has to do, what he's given Catherine O'Hara as well. I think they kind of help ground the movie a little. But in general, I just thought this was just such a pointless movie. There's just no reason to see this. It's not even so bad I want to hate it. It's so pointless that even hating it feels like too much energy given to this movie.
Yeah. So kind of like I was just thinking of when you're talking, True Lies would be a much better choice. Yeah. And it's got the exact same feel to it, and even though it's done in the 90s, and it has the Schwarzenegger in it, it's way better. Well,
even Date Night, which I think kind of accomplished what Killers was trying to do a little bit better, is more funny and more of a straightforward comedy. And Katherine Heigl too. You know, I'm really done with Ashton Kutcher. He's just whatever. But Katherine Heigl, I think she has the potential to be good. I've seen her be good in certain things. I liked her in Knocked Up. Yeah. But after The Ugly Truth and this, where she's just playing the same skittish, neurotic, uptight white girl, I'm sick of it. She needs to do something else, and she needs to get away from this character.
She needs a darker, more true movie.
She just needs a movie, not these pretty star vehicles, these 2-hour commercials that she's been in.
Fair enough.
So,
it's a lot of hate for Ashton there. All right.